everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sian, I'm 23 years old and I'm a first-time mum to a beautiful little boy called Archie. Today I thought I would continue with the theme of mental health and talk a little bit about postnatal depression, post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety. All three of these things are something that are very close to my heart. I would be lying if I said I hadn't struggled with all three of these throughout the first year of motherhood. And I thought I would just give you a little bit more of an insight into how the last year has been for me and just ways of coping and that sort of thing, and basically just a little bit of a chat. So yeah, I guess nobody ever expects to become depressed after they've given birth. It's quite a taboo subject still, and everything to do with mental health is quite taboo and people don't really like to talk about it, but I like the fact that it is starting to come a little bit into the mainstream a bit more, just because it is something that people should be aware of, and people should know that people are probably suffering in silence, people that they know, people that they talk to, and it can be really tough. And for the person who's going through that, they feel so alone, and literally all they want is somebody to reach out to them. As hard as that may be for them to open up, it is what they need to help get through it. So yeah, I don't think anybody really expects to feel lonely. In fact, it's hard because you're never really alone. As you can hear in the background, there's my little boy talking away to himself. You feel so lonely, but yet you've got this thing that's with you all of the time, so you're never really alone. But motherhood is such a dark place sometimes. You're stressed, you're emotional, you're hormonal, you're tired, you're anxious, you're literally every emotion, and of course you're full of love, but because you feel all of those other things, that doesn't make you a bad person. It took me about 4 months to actually realise that I was a little bit overwhelmed by everything, and once I was diagnosed with postnatal depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, I honestly felt like a weight had been lifted. It's hard because I kind of saw the signs, but I didn't really think that it would happen to me. I'd always wanted to be a mum, like being a mother was top of my priority list. Like I knew that that was what I was meant to be, but it was so hard I live like 300 miles away from my family and my best friend, and we don't have Chris's family by us either, so it is literally just us and Archie, and I found that so difficult because I couldn't just ask somebody to hold him while I wanted a cup of tea, or you know, to go and get a shower and just feel a bit more human again. And that was really hard. Like, I guess when you become a mother, you kind of need your mother too. Like you need your mum to be around so that someone can tell you that you're doing a good job, because I think that's what I struggled with. I wasn't really sure whether I was doing things right, especially after the birth I had, which I will probably do a video on my birth story. I've kind of put off talking about it on my blog and on social media, just from the fact that I don't want to be that person who puts somebody off and scares somebody, because I honestly heard all of the horror stories and I was well prepared for any kind of birth really, and I didn't really think about it too much because I always thought, well, whatever will happen and there's nothing that I can do about it really. All I can do is be happy, positive and look after my baby. So I wasn't really too scared as it was for the birth, but given the birth that I did have, that obviously led to me feeling quite emotional and overwhelmed when it did come to going home and taking our newborn home with us. And yeah, it was so hard to feel like I was failing, because I knew how badly I wanted this, and I knew how good I could be at it. Like, I knew that I would be all right at it in the end. I just needed a little bit of time to adjust to this new life, to adjust to being a new person, because of course motherhood is going to change you. Like, for those people who say it doesn't, like, it really does. Like, no matter how much you try, like, it is going to just like change you a little bit, but you don't have to change your complete self. Of course you can still be the person you were pre-baby, but you're a mother now, and you have like bigger priorities than going out and, you know, and having fun in that sort of way. You're a mum, so you've got that responsibility now. But yeah, I don't really know where to go with this, to be honest. It's such a hard subject to talk about, and I still don't really like shouting about the fact that I feel like I failed. But in my darkest times, I felt like I was alone. I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody, and I really did feel like that feeling would last forever. But once Archie started to crawl and to walk, well, obviously he's just started walking really, but once he started to like be on the move and sort of not be that like delicate newborn that you don't really know what to do with and just sleeps, eats and poops and that sort of thing, when he started to interact with toys and sort of show more emotion towards me, like, that made me feel so much better. It honestly felt like a weight had lifted. And I think the turning point, to be honest, has been him turning 1 year old. I'd heard this when I was pregnant, that like people said like once they turn 1, it's sort of like a light bulb moment, like things just sort of fit into place, and like you feel like you know what you're doing and that sort of thing. And I thought, oh, a year, like, it's really going to take me that long to feel like a mother and feel like I know what I'm talking about and doing and all of that sort of thing. But honestly, like, it really did. Like, I had a very emotional morning on his birthday. I couldn't stop crying. I think I was thinking, I was having more flashbacks towards the birth and thinking about what I was doing that time last year. And obviously I was separated from my baby. I didn't have him in my arms and I couldn't hold him, and I was very poorly myself. Sorry. And I thought, oh God, like, this year thing hasn't happened to me. Like, I'm still going to be feeling these kind of things for another couple of years or whatever. But after I'd had a little bit of an emotional morning, we then went to the zoo, and we were walking around the zoo, and I was pushing his pram, and I honestly just felt like all of a sudden all of my stresses and worries and everything just like floated away. And as stupid as that sounds, like, that's really what happened. Like, I just felt like, flipping heck, I've kept this boy alive for a year. Like, I've not done a bad job. He's eating well, he's growing well, he's walking, he's talking, kind of, and he is doing bloody good, and that is down to me and Chris and us being really good parents. So why have I been so worried? Like, I know we can do this, and I know we have done it, and it honestly was such a good feeling to just suddenly feel like it was all right and everything was fine. And honestly, I hope my emotion through this video tells you just how good it felt to feel like that. But I just want to tell whoever is watching this, and if you're going through a similar thing, or you have been, like, you're not alone, and there are people out there who feel the same way as you, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. and things do get better. Being a mother becomes easier. It's still hard, don't get me wrong, and obviously we're always going to have our bad days, but the good days should outweigh them second to none. Like, honestly, it's going to be alright. And if you could have seen me 6 months ago, or, you know, this time last year, you wouldn't have seen the same person that you're sat in front of right now, because I'm not ashamed to admit that I was in a dark place, and if I can help somebody else and teach them that it's alright to feel like that, but not to beat yourself up about it, you're doing a fantastic job. And you will look back on this and see it as a massive learning curve, and you may get upset about it still. Like, I'm not gonna lie, of course I get upset about it still, but you're doing a fantastic job, and you should be so proud of yourself for being a brilliant mum. And that's it really. I'm happy to answer any questions or anything like that, but please, if you are feeling any of these and you haven't been to a doctor or spoken to your health visitor or anyone like that, then please do, because it really does help. And as much as you may feel like you don't want to speak to anybody, because I honestly know how that feels too, it'd be so worth it. Honestly, I can't express to you how much you just need to do that, and you will feel so much better. But yeah, I'm so sorry that this has been a bit of a video, but I just think it's very important for people out there who may be suffering to hear somebody else's story and to see the other side to it, to see that person's come out of it and they can too, really. But yeah, I hope that's been interesting, and not interesting really, but I hope that's helped in some way. But yes, please feel free to message me or anything if you have any other questions or you want to know anything else. But yeah, thank you for watching. See you again. Bye.